Hey loves, it's Brit, and in this video I wanted to talk about the trine and sextile aspects between the Sun and Mars in the composite chart. So Sun sextile Mars or Sun trine Mars in the composite chart or the Davison relationship chart. This can also be applied to that chart as well. So, the composite chart or the Davison chart shows the type of energy that the couple or the two people, whatever type of relationship it is, become together. So, it's not the interactions that are taking place between the two's charts, like the synastry, right? It's what we actually become together combined as a couple or as a unit. And this is going to really show a lot of like the more long-term energy of a relationship. So the sextile or the trine of the Sun and Mars in a composite chart is very favorable because it shows that our ego energies combine really well. Our masculine energy combines really well in a way that is active and attractive, but not overpowering or combative, really. And it could still get a bit heated at times because we do have, fiery Mars in an aspect, right? And even a trine of Mars or a sextile of Mars is still gonna have a punch to it, but there's more like successful collaboration with these aspects. So, like the Sun in a composite chart may be or probably is the most important planet in the composite chart, showing like the main thrust of the relationship, the main light source or energy source, and one of the main like purposes of the relationship. So a favorably aspected Sun is something that is really nice to see in the composite chart, and it shows that it's easier to accomplish the relationship's purpose. So aspects like these show that like your masculine energies combined, so like think of like your natal suns and marses like combined, you actually combine to be like a very effective energetic partnership. You work really well together. Now it is still a lot of energy that you're probably not the kind of couple that's just like sitting around on the couch watching Netflix. Like, you want to get out there and do stuff. As far as like the house placement of Sun and Mars are concerned, you guys are like right out there in the action. And it's also a very physically compatible energy. Like, when Mars is involved, we're seeing sexual energy. We're seeing, that outward drive of energy, active. So with the Sun and Mars, it can be very physically attractive, very stimulating, but it's also not so aggressive as like the conjunction or even the hard aspects where like we have to get together immediately sexually. We can probably kind of wait and like suss it out and see, whether this is actually good or not. So it's not like this overwhelming passion, but if this does develop into a relationship that is sexual, it can show that the long-term compatibility is there for that aspect, and that is something that you do not lose. And yeah, back to the ego energies. So the best thing about these aspects is that you rub each other's egos in just the right way. Like, you do activate in a way that there is a strong ego energy. There is a sense of me and selfishness and my purpose in my life. And like, you do evoke ego energies in each other as far as like achievement in your own life, or as you guys as a couple, like whatever your goal is, you guys do have a strong ego investment in the relationship. But it's in such a way that like, yeah, you don't rub each other the wrong way. One person isn't thinking, oh, that person's so egotistical or they're so selfish. It's like you both combine in like a very compatible way that you can like be more successful in the outer world, more physically active and more sexual, but in a way that's very like not threatening to the other person. So you could actually see these aspects like showing that you I mean, you don't necessarily fight as much as the harder aspects, but you do like express when you are mad. There's like a very open flow of energy where you can just let it out easily. And then because of that, like because of the easy flow of the trine or sextile aspects, you clear the air faster, and then you actually don't have like long-term resentment build. So yeah, there's really a lot of amazing things about these aspects. The sextile is even a little bit more active, like potentially even more noticeable, but it takes a bit of work, right? That's always the case with the sextile. It's like you have to work it, right, to make it work. It's not just like inherent. Like the trine is very inherent in the energy of the couple, and it's so natural and it's such an easy flow that these probably aren't things you're even thinking about as a couple, because it just flows well and it flows naturally. So these aspects alone won't show long-term compatibility, but they can really aid in being able to understand each other's masculine energy and drives and sexual energy and goals in life. You're kind of like not working at cross purposes, like as far as like what you want to achieve in the relationship. And sometimes these can actually aid too in like energy for where the relationship is going. Like you both want to work on it, you both want to achieve that common goal, and you have a lot of energy to do so, but not too much. It's not too overpowering like some of the harsher aspects, but it's just a really nice, like super underrated composite aspect to show that like you're similar enough that you do provoke energy in each other. You do activate something in each other that's different, that's almost like better than if you were not in the relationship, but it's not too much ego or too much Mars or too much passion that you're like ripping each other's heads off all the time and fighting, right? It's really nice. Now, if you throw this in with like an opposition to Pluto or square to Pluto or something like that, we could see more difficulty, right? So you have to look at everything. But these aspects on their own are very good for like, yeah, like I said, outer achievement in the relationship, confidence increasing. When you have the Sun and Mars in a natural aspect like this, in an easier, beneficial aspect like this, it's like easier to be yourself in this relationship than outside of it. Like you might notice that a more primal or more authentic version of you comes out when you are with this person. So as far as other types of relationship goes, great collaboration, great like merging together to accomplish some common goal. Like this is just awesome for working together. And yet working together but not fighting. That's like the best part, because whatever does come up that you need to get off your chest, you're going to get it off your chest and have this real authentic, like natural collaborative flow of energy. And yeah, like I've said, what I've noticed with this one, you can really feel like more of yourself in this relationship, more of potentially your selfish tendencies too, but in like more passive personalities. This can really be a nice aspect to have in a composite chart or a Davison chart, where you really do get a boost and you get like a real healthy like level of ego coming through. And yeah, you can really accomplish a lot as far as the houses go of the Sun and Mars. These areas have a lot of energy and quite likely success related to them. So great aspects to see in the composite or Davison chart. I'd love to know your experiences of these ones if you've had them. I'd love to hear about it. And thank you so much for requesting this, you guys. I love your requests. Thank you. And we'll talk soon. Bye.